Good evening, everybody. This is the BuzzCity post-game show for game number 19, which is the Charlotte Hornets NBA season tonight. I am your host, Danny Thompson. Check which site. I think my video is not coming in clear. Give me a second. And let's see. Let's see if we clear that up. I don't know if that clears things up. Well, for the next 25 minutes or so, we'll talk about everything involving your Charlotte Hornets tonight as the Hornets took care of business at home tonight in game number 19 against the Indiana Pacers by the final score of 108-105 at Spectrum Center tonight. So for those who've never watched this show before, once again, welcome to the very first time. And for those who always come by, stop by, once again, welcome again. For those who've never watched this show before, let me explain Haps to you, and I'll explain what you're going to see on the show tonight. Don't mind the cameras. We're trying to get it fixed for you guys. Haps is a great, super entertaining platform that makes things like for myself easy to broadcast and also put together these wonderful shows as well too. If you subscribe to Haps as well, you get 100 coins for joining my work, and you can always use it to share, donate, and also subscribe to other providers like other journalists like myself as well too. If it's coming in blurry, please let me know because I can't tell if it's coming in blurry on mine as well. Also do it if you like I said, like Precious did in the chat. You see her in the corner, dropping 30 cents in there. Big shout out to my man Mike Patton over in Nashville as well too. So let's talk about the game tonight. The Hornets were, I don't want to say 19 games into the season, a must-win situation. I don't know if you want to say it's a must-win, but tonight was a must-win. Charlotte had been going through a terrible tailspin of games, and when you go through a tailspin like the way the Hornets have been playing, and it doesn't get better, it doesn't get any better. Coming a little choppy. Let me know if it clears up because my screen just cleared up. When you go into a situation like what the Hornets are going through for the next couple of days, they already had played Indiana for one time on Wednesday night, and it wasn't really their best effort. Then they have Milwaukee tomorrow. They have Miami on Monday, Philadelphia, and there's a stretch of games where I think it's 12 out of the next 14 are at home, but most of them are against playoff teams in the Eastern Conference. Charlotte needed a must win. They have been sliding. They had not played well on both sides of the ball. They've given up a lot of three-pointers. And what we saw on Wednesday night was a team that was just out-muscled by Domantas Sabonis, and then Sabonis muscling them one side of things, and then next thing you know, he's backdoor cutting to Doug McDermott. Charlotte came out tonight as a completely different team. You saw it from the very beginning, and as we'll learn throughout tonight's game, as I go through the game tonight, it was an effort that was picked up from the very start of this game. It was maintained throughout. Now, it got hairy at moments, but this was a game Charlotte needed because they closed out the game down the stretch. So how this game started was really the beginning unit of the team. They got out to a 14-13 start. And I mentioned on Twitter in the early part of the game, this is the part where the second unit has to come in. It was 7 lead changes and 2 ties in the first quarter. And what Charlotte did was they got down 24-19 with about 2 minutes left in the first quarter. The second unit, and I'm going to say this again, the second unit was brilliant. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Precious, for donating as well. The second unit was brilliant tonight. And when I say it was brilliant, because they won that 13-4 run, but it was not just a second unit. It was James Borrego's actual substitution pattern. What we've seen through the first 18 games of the season was you'll watch the Hornets play, and right around the 6-minute mark, Borrego takes out 3 guys. He'll bring in Ball, he'll bring in Bridges, and he'll bring in whoever the 8th man is, whether it be Bismack Biyombo or somebody off the bench, but probably Biyombo. And then they take out the 3 starters, and then at that point you see one more come out, and that's when Cody Martin or Malik Monk or somebody else would come in. Borrego changes up a bit. He did say in pregame that he was tinkering, and I know Hornets fans don't want to hear it. He's been tinkering lineups to try to figure out how to way to get this to work. Well, this tinkering process worked tonight. The difference was he brought in Ball and Bridges together. It was just only the 2 of them. Then what we have seen tonight is I think Bismack Biyombo's time in the rotation is over. He played 6 minutes on Wednesday night, and he wasn't in the main rotation when the Hornets started the first quarter, because when Ball and Bridges came in, it was just those 2. And when those 2 came in, Borrego, what he decided to do is he decided to kind of rotate. So when Ball and Bridges were on the court, you saw Gordon Hayward stay in the majority of the first quarter. What he did was he played in stretches. He left PJ and he left he took PJ, he took Terry out the game, left Devontae and left Cody in the game, and then they flip-flopped. So basically he was intertwining lineups with those 7 players, keeping the 2 bench players and Gordon Hayward on the court. So right around about the 2-minute mark of the quarter, that's when Malik Monk came in the game. What the switch did was it ignited that 13-4 run. Malik Monk started getting run. Monk started shooting the basketball pretty well in the first quarter. Hornets kept the lead, and they kept the lead, like I said, at 32-20 at the end of the first quarter. And really, it wasn't a quarter where nobody dominated for Charlotte. It was really Rozier got off to a good start. You saw PJ was having one of his nights. When PJ shoots well, Charlotte plays well. He had 6 points and three rebounds in the quarter. I said LaMelo Ball in that first quarter set the tone when he came in the game. One of the things LaMelo Ball has always brought to the table, and I think we all know this, from the very start, LaMelo Ball is a ball of energy. I want to kind of a pun on words. He's a humongous ball of energy, and it's infectious. The one thing with LaMelo Ball that has to be controlled is there are moments where LaMelo Ball is completely brilliant. Tonight was one of LaMelo Ball's brilliant performances. Now he had moments that just makes you want to scratch your head. There's a couple of them. I'll get to it, but that first quarter he came out there with a lightning bolt of energy. He had 7 points in the first quarter. 3 of 6 from the floor, but what he was doing was he was driving to the rim. He was making plays. He was getting to the rim. I mean, that stretch at the end of the quarter, I think he scored 6 points towards the end of the first quarter. And how that happened was it was off a steal, a drive to the layup, and a dunk. LaMelo Ball was doing all of that in the first quarter, and it ignited the Hornets. The Hornets were up 32-24. And remember, what killed Charlotte in the first game was on Wednesday was the fact that they got off to a slow start and had to play catch up. Tonight, they did not have to play catch up. So when they got into the second quarter, they were going back and forth the quarter. And as we got to the end of the second quarter, Charlotte went on another run. And the run you thought was going to be the type of run that was going to put this thing away early or put yourself at a deficit where it was going to be, a big night for the Hornets. At one point, Charlotte was up by 4 with about 7 minutes to go in the quarter, and then you got a basket from Biyombo, another 3 from Terry Rozier, and then the Hornets start stretching the lead out. When Miles Bridges hit that step back 3-pointer, it was 64-48, a 14-point lead with 3 minutes left in the quarter. You're thinking Charlotte's going to close the quarter out strong, and it almost fell apart at the end of the quarter because Indiana, and there's a reason why Indiana is one of the best teams in the NBA, by the way. Malcolm Brogdon, Jeremy Lamb started doing it. Sabonis, of course, again. They got the lead down to 4 after a Sumner 3-pointer for halftime, and it's 64-60, buzz ahead at the break. And one of the things Charlotte has always found to do is they normally get down at halftime. But tonight they were ahead, and they were scoring the basketball. They were distributing all phases of the game. In the first half, Charlotte had 25 baskets in the first half, but 21 of them were assists. This was the Hornets, what we saw early part of the season. What made Charlotte special, what made Charlotte so good the first part of the season was when they scored baskets, everybody was touching the basketball. Remember, at one point, Charlotte had the highest assist-to-made basket ratio in the NBA. It was almost 80% of the baskets they had made were off assists. That means everybody was touching the ball, everybody was passing. That's what the Hornets have always been about all year. The first half, 80% of the baskets had assists to them. Everybody was touching the ball, and Borrego's rotations actually were working. Okay. You're going to struggle. Now, one thing that Hornets fans know is that they're undersized, okay? Domantas Sabonis and Miles Turner was just doing what they wanted to in the paint. Sabonis had 13 points in the first half. Miles Turner had 10. And what hurt Sabonis was Sabonis got in foul trouble. And then when he picked up that second foul in the first quarter, it was more of a momentum shift. And when the momentum shift happened, Charlotte started becoming more aggressive. We saw LaMelo Ball being aggressive. And at the half, like I said, Charlotte was up at the break. And it was good to see 64-60. On the Hornets side of things, Terry Rozier had 14 points in the first half. Like I said, PJ was off to a good start. He was a perfect from the floor, hit that 3-pointer, had 10 points. Devontae had 8. Miles had 7, Melo had 7, Malik had 6. Everybody was contributing. And Gordon Hayward, who was the team's leading scorer, almost 23 points a game, only had 6. So when you see the balance of what Charlotte was doing, you're watching the game and thinking to yourself, okay, this is what the Hornets should look like. Not one guy carrying the offensive load. And this is what you want to see, a balanced team. And like I said, Borrego's minutes really was effective. Cody Zeller was the only starter not playing. He not played more than 10 minutes because he picked up 3 fouls. And give credit to Biyombo, who came in when he spelled Cody. When the foul trouble, but also give PJ a lot of credit at the 5. But 6 guys played 15 or more minutes in the half, and Ironically, Terry Rozier was the one that only played 14 minutes in the first half. We get to the third quarter, and Charlotte got the lead up to 12. It was 72-60, and about the first minute and a half, both teams had turnovers to start the quarter, and they kept extending the lead to 12. But Charlotte, once again, in the third quarter, started falling apart. Defensively, they played well, but they couldn't be able to get the lead. Indiana kept chipping into the lead, and you were thinking to yourself, okay, this was going to be the start of the fall apart. Give the Hornets credit once again. James Borrego has said this all year. This team has been resilient. When Indiana cut the lead down to 5 at 81-76, the Hornets were sparked, and the spark came from LaMelo Ball. Third quarter, if I had the video clip, I show it to you. I couldn't get it in time before the show tonight. This was, I think, to me, was the turning point in the game at this point. It was a 5-point game. It was a weird minute. He had it, could not get it down. LaMelo Ball leaps over Domantas Sabonis for a two-hand slam. Hornets stand on their feet. Hornets up by 7. It triggered a run to end the quarter. LaMelo Ball's putback, then turn around to what allowed Devontae to knock down a three-pointer. You had Miles Bridges catching alley-oop from LaMelo. And the Hornets in the quarter, 89-80, it ignited the run. Charlotte into the quarter with an 8-4 run. I know it don't really say much in basketball, say 8-4, but that's the run they needed. It carried into the fourth quarter. Charlotte got the lead to 11 after Hayward's basket, make it 91-80. And the Pacers, you knew at some point in this fourth quarter, the Pacers were going to come back. And guess what? A 9-1 run. Hornets got the lead down 92-89. And at this point, you're wondering yourself, this was going to be the end of the game for Charlotte. But give the Hornets a lot of credit. They buckled down. It was 92-91. They got the lead. Actually, the game was tied at 94, and Brogdon hit that three-pointer. And for about a good 2-3 minute stretch, they were going back and forth tying the game. They actually got down. They got down by 2 when Miles Turner once again played bully ball and got the little jump hook from Justin Holiday. It was a bully ball type of move. Charlotte couldn't stop the bigs. In that stretch where they're going back and forth, Indiana was using Sabonis and using Miles Turner to bully the smaller Hornets. Give Borrego a lot of credit for not going to the bench and staying where he was. He brought Cody Zeller back in the game, and that's really where the tide had turned. There was some parts in that fourth quarter where you're wondering yourself, where was Gordon Hayward in the quarter? It really wasn't Gordon Hayward offensively. But when like I said, when the game was tied or down 2, Cody Zeller played an outstanding final 2 minutes of the game. Let's break down what Cody Zeller did. So you had Hayward grab that rebound from Sabonis. Devontae Graham hit Cody Zeller for a nice layup. Then Graham catches Zeller driving to the basket. At this point, Hornets take a 2-point lead. On the other end of the floor, we saw what Zeller did. After Hayward missed a shot, Graham grabbed the rebound. Huge rebound for Devontae, by the way. Terry Rozier knocked down a three-pointer off the great look from Graham. At this point, Charlotte knocks down another three-pointer from Graham. Cody Zeller had a huge block. Charlotte goes up by 3. And the defense, at the end of the game, held Malcolm Brogdon to a bad shot. And LaMelo Ball put one of the more smarter moves of the game, inbounds the ball off Sabonis. Game's over. Hornets win. And guess what? Now they're 8-11. Charlotte takes advantage of holding on at home. All right. This is a game as now it's over. Now we can talk about how the game break down. It was a beautiful performance for the Hornets tonight. It wasn't picture perfect, okay? But when you look at how the game is broken down number-wise, it was a balanced effort from the 7 guys that played tonight. Malik Monk played about 14 minutes tonight. And he played well in 14 minutes, okay? Now, he had that beautiful between-the-legs pass that Devontae missed a three-pointer on. But if you look at the way the minutes were distributed tonight, you had 4 Hornets at over 30 minutes, and LaMelo Ball, you might as well say at 30 because he played 29-47. So it's 5 Hornets played 30 minutes tonight. But also, you had 7 Hornets score 9 or more points because Bridges fell 1 point short of having in double figures. Everybody contributed tonight, whether it be from Terry knocking down 5 3-pointers and actually being effective from the floor, Devontae hitting 4 3-pointers himself, but also not giving 6 assists. You had Cody Zeller, when you look at his stat sheet, 12 points and 6 rebounds. But remember, you had the huge baskets down the stretch because he had 6 points in the fourth quarter. He had the huge block. Hayward only had 11. He had the 8 rebounds, 6 assists, but he had the big block shot on Sabonis at the rim. PJ had 19 points and only missed one shot from beyond the arc. And his 7 for 8. Like I said, we all mentioned LaMelo. LaMelo had 16 points, 7 rebounds, 6 rebounds and 7 assists. A big game across the board for LaMelo. Now, let's get into how this game. Let's talk about LaMelo because that's what everybody wants to talk about is LaMelo Ball. So I've been on this show literally for 17 games now, talking about LaMelo Ball, and we talked about the triple doubles, his up and down, his high and low moments. Tonight's game was a representation of what we see with LaMelo Ball, and then there's moments of frustration at the same time. As James Brago said tonight, LaMelo is a player that he's proud of him. He's just so proud of his effort. He gives it every single night, and he earned his minutes. Like JB said, if you're going to make the mistakes, play the way he plays on the other side of the court tonight. There were some parts in this game where the turnovers were bad because he had 2 of them, really bad turnovers. I think it was the second quarter. It was 2 really, really bad turnovers. Charlotte was on a 3-on-1 break. Instead of making the simple pass, LaMelo tried to go behind his back, and it led to an Indiana basket. After the basket, LaMelo takes the inbound and tries to launch a 60-foot pass over 2 big guys trying to hit Miles Bridges, trying to catch defense going slow. Those are 2 plays that are inexcusable. In any situation, that's inexcusable. Because when you have a 3-on-1 and you have the numbers, that turnover led to a 5-on-2 on the other side of the court, and Indiana finished at the rim. If LaMelo completes that pass for the actual basket, I think the Hornets go up. They go up 11 at that point. Instead, it becomes a 7-point lead, which turned to a 5-point lead because they scored after the turnover from LaMelo. And there's also the part in the fourth quarter where LaMelo took a 3-pointer in a type of LaMelo Ball move that he did in Australia, with like 20 seconds left on the shot clock in a tie game. He launches a 3-pointer. I wanted the distance on the 3-pointer. I want to say it was like 28 feet, but I promise you, it's like he shot the ball from Rock Hill. Okay, that was a very, very bad and poor choice by Ball on that 3-pointer. They listed it in the game log. I think it was right around, it was 27 feet, but I promise you it was a lot longer on the camera when you're watching it live. Those 3 plays were really frustrating, but those are the things you get with LaMelo Ball. But let's talk about the things that he did outstanding. In that first quarter, he was super aggressive. Okay. He was super, super aggressive. He got to the rim, and with him getting to the rim, you started seeing more of that confidence in LaMelo. We saw the dunks. We saw the putback. I mean, the dunk on Sabonis was phenomenal. I know it's going to be a Sports Center top 10 play because he posterized Sabonis not once but twice, but that one-hand dunk was phenomenal. The court vision, the one pass he hit to Cody Zeller's driving to the lane was brilliant because he almost got caught, but he hit him easily. There was one where he didn't get the assist, but he drove in the lane. Goga Baldaze, the center for Indiana, who was in for Sabonis, looked directly at LaMelo. LaMelo looked left and threw a laser to Gordon Hayward at the rim, who got to the free throw line. Didn't complete the 3-point play, but he got to the free throw line. There are moments where that pick and roll looks good. The 3-point shot was off tonight, but if you take away those 6 missed 3-pointers, he was 7-7 from inside the 3-point line tonight. Those are moments where, yeah, the 3 bad possessions are teaching moments. But the give and take of having a kid like LaMelo Ball is, at times you want to hold him back a bit from himself. But there are times where, like even Coach Brago said, you just watch in amazement. Like you're just in awe of how good this kid is. And there are moments where LaMelo looks every bit of Jason Kidd. There's moments like that. There were way more. I think there were 3 times more good moments tonight for LaMelo than bad moments for LaMelo. This might have been one of his better games defensively all year. And when I say his better games defensively all year, I'm not talking about steals. I'm not talking about those type of numbers, because you can get steals. But there was one play in particular that got me going watching the game at home. And it really wasn't a play where LaMelo did anything special, but there was a play where there was an on-ball pressure that LaMelo had, and he knocked the ball away. But then you see LaMelo diving on the floor trying to get the loose ball. Coach Borrego had mentioned the last couple of games about those 50-50 balls. They won one in the first quarter, which led to a 3-pointer. LaMelo knocked the ball away and then dove to get the ball and try to save it from going out of bounds. Those are the types of plays that get your coach look at you and start trusting. And what Coach JB said tonight was, honestly, that he's learning to trust LaMelo more and more each game. And with any coach, with a player like LaMelo, with playing that point guard position, it does take trust. It will take time. He will trust him. It's just that the same thing when you see of Luka Doncic and Rick Carlisle, it took the trusting of the coach that you're going to make those plays. Yes, you're going to have good and bad moments, and yes, there's going to be parts of the game where it doesn't work, or there'll be parts of the games where he makes mistakes. That's all a part of it. And I get it. Like I said, but tonight was a definite huge step in the right direction. LaMelo Ball played outstanding, played really, really well tonight. I don't know if it's better than a triple-double game, but I think as a all-around effort on both offense and defense, this might have been his best game of the entire season as a collective 30 minutes he played tonight, collectively, on both sides. It's not about the steals. It's about the little things I saw tonight. He wasn't out of position on defense tonight. He stayed in the zone. Dealing with Malcolm Brogdon's a problem. Some of those baskets that he got stuck on pick and rolls is because Sabonis is bigger than he is. Okay, Sabonis is a beast down there. I give LaMelo a lot of credit for trying and giving effort. He was leaping. He wasn't taking chances defensively tonight, and didn't leave his guys out there to dry. I think he had one or two good closeouts. So I think he played outstanding tonight. He really did play outstanding tonight. And what we saw tonight was a balance of minutes. If you look how the guard rotation was tonight, you saw 33 minutes from Devontae, 32 from Terry, 30 from LaMelo, and Malik even got right around a little bit more than 14. But everybody contributed tonight. Miles played a lot better than he did the other night. It's hard, like I said, when you look at Miles' -1 and Pete and Cody's -4, you're gonna say, well, they didn't play well. No, they did everything they could against the players they were going against. Domantas Sabonis is hard to deal with on any stretch of the imagination. Miles Turner, when he's on like he was tonight, and if you look at him outside that 3-point shot tonight, he was 7 for 7 tonight. The Pacers punished the Hornets in the paint. But what the Hornets did better than the Pacers was tonight was Charlotte got out in transition. They outscored them 16-6 in transition points tonight. That was all because of the ball tempo, the ball pressure. And that's what when you're playing against the Hornets strength is when they get that rebound and they start pushing. It doesn't matter what it's LaMelo. It doesn't matter if it's Gordon Hayward. When they're pushing, Charlotte's dangerous. There was a play where Rozier, he pushed the ball and pushed the break. Charlotte needs to play at that pace because Borrego knows when you play small, the only thing you can do is run the pace. And Charlotte did a great job tonight. And what Borrego said tonight was, because the question I asked him tonight was, what was different from the bench? His rotations were different. He said really was no tweak as far as the minutes. They did use different lineups. But tonight the bench played to their potential. And, this is the night where he said they were superly proud because Gordon was 4 of 12 from the floor. But they beat the Pacers tonight. Borrego says some guys stepped up tonight. Bottom line, we asked them to step up, and they did tonight. Starters, bench guys, even with Gordon not having a great night tonight. That's what Borrego mentioned because that was his answer when I asked him about the bench play tonight. And growing against everything people say, Devontae Graham, Terry Rozier, and LaMelo Ball have a interesting 3-guard rotation, but Borrego also used that 3-guard rotation because we haven't seen this in a while. We haven't seen the 3 guards on the court together for an extended period of time. Borrego did that tonight. I don't know how long it is. I have to look up the numbers for how long they played tonight, but they played well as a 3-man unit tonight. Even when the question was asked about LaMelo and the impact off the bench, I think that was the question I asked him tonight about the bench play and how it just is different. And the question for LaMelo was about his impact. And Devontae said a lot of the same things that I said, and a lot of the same things that Hornets fans have been wanting him to be. He's just got to be aggressive. He brings that pace when he comes to the game and keeps the defense on his heels. And going down, getting a transition, kicking it into the paint and kicking it out. If he attacks, that's when it's going to win. And tonight's, like I said, Cody Zeller tonight said was just a collective effort. And it was something that teams like this need to do, and the Hornets couldn't do last season. They couldn't close out games very well, and this was one of those tonight that they actually did close out tonight. So Hornets win tonight 108-105. Game ball tonight. So the game ball tonight, listen, it wasn't a 30-point game tonight for Gordon Hayward, but he's not the guy getting the game ball tonight. Game ball number 1 tonight has to go to PJ Washington. 19 points, 9 rebounds. When PJ plays well, the Hornets play well. He was 7 of 8 from the floor. He got 9 rebounds. It's hard grabbing rebounds over Sabonis and Turner. He played well and also stayed out of foul trouble. Shot the ball standing. Game ball number 2 has got to be LaMelo Ball. Take away the 0 for 6, take away the bad three-pointer, take away the 2 crazy turnovers. LaMelo Ball impacted the game in ways that were different. The plus-minus tonight was 0, which is good because the last couple games, his plus-minus has been terrible. Ball might have played his best game of the season, even with the turnovers. I think this might have been better than the triple-double performance. He saw confidence. You saw the fact that he turned the corner. I think tonight was a more of a turn-the-corner game for LaMelo. This, like I said, to me, and I've watched all 19 games this season, and I saw the triple-double game. I know how good it was. The game was before that against his brother in New Orleans. That was a great effort. But to me, tonight, this was the best game he played all season because it was on both ends of the court. It was on both ends of the court tonight. And that's what made this game for LaMelo, I think, the best game he's played because it was, it's just one of those games where you saw him turn that corner. And you could see when you even go to threepointconversion.com because the team is going to post the post game, and you can see even James Borrego was talking about like the difference LaMelo Ball made in this game tonight. You can you hear the questions about for DG, for Graham, and for Cody about the bench and how important the bench was, and what LaMelo brought to the bench tonight, and how him and Miles and Malik, and even when Biz came in, how the energy level changed, how that second unit carried on what the starters had started. Starters started out the game pretty well. The bench took it to another level, and that's what made the Hornets play better. The team plays better when the bench plays better, and when LaMelo Ball is doing what LaMelo Ball did tonight, the Hornets are a really, really good team. They're way better than the record shows. Third game ball tonight, I'm going to give the third game ball to Terry Rozier. Rozier hit the game-winning three-pointer tonight, 19 points, had 5 threes tonight. Hit the game-winning three-pointer that gave the Hornets the stretched-out lead tonight. He grabs rebounds. Sometimes his numbers don't prove it, but Rozier always comes through when the team needs. He got 14 in the first half, kept them out of scoring droughts, hit the big three when he needed it, made plays on defense. Rozier he's just really, he might be the most clutch player on this roster, him and Gordon Hayward. And Hayward and Rozier has been great since he's been here. Very, very, very undervalued by a lot of the NBA. So Hornets win tonight, and so we're getting ready for tomorrow night's game against the Milwaukee Bucks. The game's at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. The game got moved to 8 p.m. on Spectrum Center tomorrow night. I think the game is still Fox Sports because NBA TV will not have a national TV game, I think, due to the fact that the NBA is on ABC tomorrow night. Giannis and company are coming to town, and they'll be kind of angry after the Pelicans were kicking their faces in earlier tonight. It's the third game, 3 game in 4 nights for Charlotte. There's 6 game in 8 days. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of tiredness from the Hornets tomorrow night. It would not surprise me if they did come out sluggish tomorrow because it's 6 games in 8 days. It's a lot. And then turn back around, they got 5 games in 7 days next week. It's just a lot on this team. So the game is at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. So as far as the post-game show, I am taking tomorrow night off. Yeah, I'm off tomorrow night due to load management. So I'm off tomorrow. I'll be back on Monday night for the post-game show. They'll be playing Miami Monday night down in South Florida. There'll actually be fans of the game down in South Florida because of the sniffing COVID dogs. So next week, I said I'll be back on Monday night for the Heat game. Like I said, tomorrow night's game will be on Fox Sports South. Check out threepointconversion.com so that way you can keep up with the latest with the Hornets. The post-game interviews tonight, like I said, with Cody, with Devontae, and Coach JB. And also check me out tomorrow morning at 10:30. Myself and Mr. Controversy Raphael on the 3 Point Conversions Sports Lounge. 10:30, we're talking, as our favorite segment goes, the Birds and the Bees, which is the Atlanta Hawks and, of course, your Charlotte Hornets. Check me out on Twitter at Danny3 Thompson on Twitter, as well as, like I said, threepointconversion.com, around the association.com, and also check out Beyond the Buzzer on Monday nights on Zingo TV and the Haps on Blackjack TV as well too. So I-95 Sports. So I'll check you guys out tomorrow. Stay safe. I think this way is going to be a little bit of snow over the weekend. So everybody stay bundled up and make sure you went to the grocery store. I'll check you guys out on Monday. Enjoy the game on tomorrow night and check me out tomorrow morning on a 3 Point Conversion on Facebook and also 1110 WWE or on the in Atlanta or on the iHeartRadio app. Just type in the 3 Point Conversion. All right. Catch you guys tomorrow. You guys stay safe.